Hello everyone, welcome to Vajram and Ravi's Personalities in News. In today's session, we will be discussing some important personalities that have been in news from the perspective of your exam. So let us begin with the first personality that we are going to cover today, that is Babu Jagjeevan Ram. He has been in news because he was tributed on his birth anniversary by multiple people, including our Prime Minister as well. When we talk about Babu Jagjeevan Ram, a historic figure and a key contributor for the elevation of depressed classes. Born in 1908, he completed his education from Banaras Hindu University, and this was the phase where he started understanding and also faced caste discrimination. 1935, he was responsible for founding All India Depressed Classes League. His idea and focus was about to politically mobilize scheduled castes, and he later went on to participate and contribute into Quit India movement. Later, after independence, he has played important key roles such as being Labour Minister during 1946 to 52. He was the one who brought in the minimum wages framework, labour welfare policy, and then later he also has gone ahead and served as Agriculture Minister, where he was the one who strengthened the Green Revolution. He can be attributed to that, and he has also directly contributed to the food self-sufficiency that India has in today. Apart from that, served as Defence Minister during 1971. That is why a key role was played during India-Pakistan War, which happened during the Bangladesh Liberation War, and later 1970 to 79 he was also the Deputy Prime Minister of Janata government. A very important key figure when we talk about addressing caste discrimination, a staunch supporter of anti-caste discrimination, and he was the one who has facilitated, propagated this across the roles which are present here that we have discussed about. Now, when we talk about his contribution, he has been significant in terms of Dalit integration with the mainstream democratic politics. But when we look at his way of working, unlike B.R. Ambedkar, he decided to stay within the main framework of Congress or Indian National Congress and work from within it itself. He has contribution across sectors. He has served as Labour Minister, Defence Minister, Agriculture Minister, and he has an exemplary legacy in terms of administration when you especially look at institutional policy making, which can be seen with his track record as well. Now, on this note, we will be moving to the next person that we are covering today, that is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Again, a staunch leader, a contributor, politician, policy maker. He was celebrated and tributed on his birth anniversary, which is celebrated as Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Jayanti. Now, when we talk about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was born in 1891 but later went on to complete his PhD from Columbia University, even after facing caste discrimination all along his life. Politically, if we look at it, 1927, we saw him coming up to the foray through Mahat Satyagraha, where he talked about right to access public water. And then 1930, Kalarim Temple Entry Movement, huge importance. 1932, he was responsible for signing Pune Pact with Mahatma Gandhi, so that when we are looking at separate electoral class, scheduled caste was not kept as a separate electoral class. It was clubbed with Hindus as well. So reserved seats were given to the scheduled caste instead of the separate electorates. 1942-46, huge contribution. He was a key contributor when we are talking about India's independence movement, but 1942-46, he was not just a Labour member, but part of Viceroy's Council, and then later he has also gone ahead and played important role where he became the chairman of the drafting committee of our constitution. So he is also known as the father of Indian constitution. The key provisions which form the soul of our constitution, such as fundamental rights, abolition of untouchability, Article 17, and the affirmative action comes from his ideas. He was the one who advocated state socialism and also industrialization, and later in life he converted from Hindu to Buddhist, and that was another personal mark that was seen in his life. Now, on this note, when we talk about significance of B.R. Ambedkar and his contribution, he has to be seen as the architect who brought out the Indian Constitution in the shape that it is. He was the one who introduced constitutional morality. He was the champion of not just social democracy, but also the rights of depressed classes, the driver of anti-discrimination policies, law, liberty. So B.R. Ambedkar is the person, and he has an intellectual legacy as well, because he was the one who bridged law, economics and sociology, and that can be seen across his multiple works. Can you let me know in the comment section certain books that have been authored by B.R. Ambedkar? Now, on this note, we will be moving to the next person that we are covering today, that is Guru Har Gobind Singh Ji. He was in news because again tribute was paid, and it was on Jyoti Jyoth Day. Now, when we are talking about Guru Har Gobind Singh, he was the sixth Guru. He became the sixth Guru when Guru Arjan Dev Ji was martyred, and he was responsible for introducing the doctrine of Miri Piri. Miri is the temporal power that is based on time, intellectually, and Piri is the spiritual authority. He was the responsible person for building Akal Takht, which is present in Golden Temple in Amritsar, and it was the seat of temporal authority that was seen. Apart from that, when we are looking at Guru Har Gobind Singh Ji, he was also responsible for militarization. That means he was the one who maintained standing army, introduced the use of arms for protecting own selves, that is defense, and he was known for conflicts with Mughal rulers as well, be it Jahangir, where he was imprisoned, and had battles directly with Shah Jahan. Apart from that, Bandi Chhod Divas is also celebrated because he was able to secure release of 52 Hindu kings from Gwalior Fort. In that particular ode, Bandi Chhod Divas is celebrated. If we talk about Guru Har Gobind Singh Ji, he has been the one who has transformed Sikhism from spiritual movement to politico-military community, which is aware, which can defend itself. He laid the foundation of militarization of Khalsa in later times, especially during Guru Gobind Singh Ji. He had laid the foundation for Khalsa militarization. Khalsa militarization is largely attributed to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, but the foundation was led by Guru Har Gobind Ji here. And he is also attributed a lot for having the mind to bring institutional innovation, where Akal Takht was given the political authority. From here, we will be moving on to cover the last personality that we are covering today, that is Rani Avantibai Lodhi. When we talk about her, recently she was paid tribute to and remembered for her courage across the ministers that we see in our country. So when we talk about Rani Avantibai Lodhi, she was Queen of Ramgarh, which is present in Madhya Pradesh. And when we talk about British annexation that was taking place under doctrine of lapse, can you tell me which lord was responsible for innovation, that is doctrine of lapse? So that is where, after doctrine of lapse that came by Lord Dalhousie, that took place and this policy was going on, that is when it sparked the fire which also resulted towards revolt of 1857. Multiple reasons were there. One of the reasons was doctrine of lapse. So in this revolt, it was Rani Avantibai Lodhi who had to take leadership to protect Ramgarh because of her husband's death. She was the one who organized tribal and peasant resistance in the country. She ensured guerrilla warfare in the forest terrain that is seen in this region, and she attacked key British posts which were present, mobilized local chiefs, and unfortunately she was martyred and she decided to choose death instead of surrendering to Britishers. Now, when we are talking about Rani Avantibai Lodhi, another important thing that we need to understand here, we just do not need to see her in regards with revolt of 1857. Rather, she serves as a symbol of how there can be subaltern and tribal resistance, and it can be led by female. This also highlights how important role was played by women in armed struggle, be it 1857 or others. And this gives a larger perspective to 1857 revolt, because when we talk about it, it just seems like a sepoys, soldiers revolt, but it was more of a people revolt. That is why it becomes very important from the perspective of your exam. I hope you have a fair clarity on the people we talked about. If you have any doubt, you can put it down in the comment section. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.